semi-final of the Trust League of Legends tournament here at the Reality Lens 16 in Assen. We are Gamershub bringing you this game. This is Kronos, my name is Gevous, and this game will be between Inspired versus AST.
Yeah, first semi-final, and it's gonna be a best of 3, so we have a lot of action before us, and I wonder team is gonna take away the first game, and we have AST actually on the red side. They swapped it around because there were some issues with which side was the right one.
Like Inspired has the highest seat, so they have the rights for the blue side to get the first pick. So indeed, they had to switch sides, and it's a Zac and a Zaya band so far, and also a Lee Sin and a Morellia.
Yeah, you missed the Zac game. That was the one game I solo casted, so I have seen one. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't do too well though, because it was against LoL Alliance Ice, so a bit unfortunate. But I mean, at least I've seen one so far. But it gets banned away into this one. Lee Sin, strong jungler, so not too surprising. Although we haven't seen it banned today so far, I think. Let's see here, Aurelia, Mordekaiser hasn't seen any play today.
No, that is true, but still pretty dominant. He has seen some nerfs in this patch, of course, so he's a little bit more punishable in lane. We're also not skill as hard when it comes to defensive sets like health or health growth or whatsoever. So if he still snowballs, it's still really hard to deal with. But definitely what is notable though is the 2 target bans towards Morsu. Of course, Morsu, we all know him. He's also a Challenger Series player, and he's joining into Inspired here for this land. So yeah, Aurelia, Fiora, definitely 2 key picks for him. Get banned away, but they take the Lulu first pick.
Yeah, again Lulu. So we have seen some mixed performances so far. One very strong game and one Joker-ish, I think. But that was mostly because of, well, the whole team game matchup there. So again, a little for perhaps the Tristana. We'll have to wait and see, but it gets counterpicked with the Braum and Gragas. So Gragas at least for the disengage, and Braum to stop Poke from coming in. Generally just shielding and helping out with the backline.
Like
pretty good pickups.
It's still always the good. Like, yeah. I've said this like a million times already. The Braum is just like a very safe first rotation pick because you can still play and pretty much any type of comp. You can play poke comp with it, you can play skirmish comp, you can play team fight comp, you can still play pick comp if you like, but you also deny the enemy from playing like a poke composition because of course Unbreakable, his shield, very strong against poke compositions, will be blocking 40% of the damage, and it's just so hard to poke against that guy. Gragas for the disengage, also pretty safe, will not give anything away of the team compositions, but it also has to do with the Lulu first pick, because Lulu first pick will also deny the possible Skarner that comes out, because Lulu probably one of the better counters to Skarner, because you do have disengage, you do have Soul, you do have Polymorph, so you do buy time, and you also have possible follow-up with the Wild Growth in case someone does get impaled in. So Lulu first pick is now in these specials really, really solid, and now we see the follow-up with the Elise and the Tristana.
Yeah.
Tristana, like you said.
Not a big surprise, so to say, but Tristana, yeah, just a very strong champion at the moment, and coupled up with the Lulu, proves a pretty strong late game. And they got the Elise in here as well. I've seen 1 or 2 today. Well, she's just a generally good performance in jungle, and we'll have to see what Kadir is going to do with it. And hovering over an Orianna here. Orianna a bit out of the meta. It's kind of it's being played
she's
here
never
and there.
Out of the meta, really, is she? Like, she's always there. Like, always there as a fallback or still like a flexible champion. Like, it's a high damage mid laner later into the game with a lot of utility. So it's still really good. And again, I think this like adds up nice to like the skirmish or team fight potential they have with the Braum McGregor's already. Severe added up onto that. I think they want to mainly focus on disengaging and then later on re-engaging again, just to deal with the picks that Elise can have, and in case that Inspired does go for this pick composition. Morsu, of course, like very famous for his dominant laning phase, and also he plays a lot of split push. So I'm actually wondering if there's any champion that he will pick just to split push. Darius is still there too, so maybe that can also work in a pick comp. Not as efficient in split pushing, but could still do the job.
I think he used to play a lot of Hackerim and Jax kind of
Just-
champions as well.
And there you go.
Alright, well,
Well
it's
done,
gonna
well
be the
done.
Jax.
Indeed, like Jack's indeed one of his signature picks as well. Like he played that a lot, still plays it quite often. Morgana on top of that, like a little bit of extra. Actually, kind of a deny on the disengage side of AST.
Yeah. I mean, they can use it in multiple ways. They can put it on Jax so he can dive into the backline without being disengaged by the Gragas cast. Or they can use it on Tristana to even buff her, buff her a little bit more alongside the Lulu and just protecting her that much better and making sure that she can, perhaps get some picks off on her own. And we're going to wait for the last pick for the top lane, most likely. They're hovering over Gnar.
Might still be possible. It's still a fine matchup into the Jax, and it does add up nicely on the team fight composition that ACT has. So we see a type of maybe split push still, but mainly pick / chase composition, kind of in chase, because you do still have the Lulu, you still have a good skirmish and picks, and still like some form of hyper carry thingamajig going on around the Tristana, but could also still work on Jax. It seems to be a trend, right? Like have the Lulu and have like some form of hyper carry within the Tristana, and also have the capability to give that into a different type of carry. So the carry top lanes in this case.
Yeah.
And then on the side of AST, we see this heavy team fight composition, like hard engage. They can apply, they can get the Gnar into the Orianna. So, what team would you favor in these compositions?
Depends how it plays out. I mean, the thing is, AST can use, for example, their disengage to counter the engage from the Elise and the Jax, and then re-engage using both Gnar, Mega Gnar form, and Sivir ultimate. So they have a lot of movability around the map, and they can dodge around, perhaps. Well, depends how they play it out. Dodge around INS's engages. But still, I think right now just Tristana and Lulu is such a strong combination, and later on in the game they're going to be difficult to deal with. But it'll kind of depend on how AST plays it out. If they correctly use the disengage and re-engagement tools, I think they have the better team fight composition and should be able to win in the skirmishes.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up these teams that are coming into the game. We will have to wait out the 3-minute delay for this match, so grab your snacks and drinks, because it is definitely going to be a good match. So we will see you soon. Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen. We are in the game of this best of 3 semi-finals, this game between Inspired versus AST. We are Gamershub here at Reality XVI on this Trust League of Legends tournament. My name is Gevous and I'm here with Kronos.
Yeah, we're going into the level 1 stress right now. It's gonna be a bit curious to see if they're gonna head for a lane swap, because I would kinda expect for the Jax wanting to lane swap. I think we have seen I've seen a Jax before today, and they did go for the double jungle and then lane swap him. So right now they are setting up here in this bush, expecting an invade perhaps. They have put out a ward in case somebody comes in, so they have enough vision.
Oh, you never know. They can just sit there just in case. You don't necessarily have to be all over the map. They got the defensive vision already. So they are pretty much covered on all sides, and may the opportunity arise where they can just camp a brush and take the opportunity to actually just go for the pick themselves. Then why not? You know, like Braum still pretty good in the level 1, has a slow, straight stun, and the extra burst adds up nicely. So this is something that you see people do pretty often when they're playing with Braum. At least in this tournament, that is the case.
Yeah, so Asterion setting up here for the red buff. So it does look like standard lane matchup gonna be here, and Inspire entertaining us with a little bit of dancing here.
It's a small dance off. Everyone wishing each other good luck, have fun, and the U2s, which is a band. So indeed, like you said, we see the standard lanes coming out, duo lanes in the bottom lane as they are supposed to be, and let's see, it's gonna be a very heavy jungler-centric game, because of course in the normal lanes it's going to be the gank utility will just be really strong, and the pace will be decided on that, if you ask me.
Yeah, they need the ganks to set up the right fights, because I think that in the standard 1v1 and 2v2 lanes there shouldn't be happening too much. Perhaps that if Gnar gets a small lead onto Jax, he can out-trade him, but other than that, bottom lane should be pretty safe. Sivir of course has a shield, and Braum helping out as a body block, plus the black shields able to save Tristana from any stun. But here we have Gragas coming into the mid lane.
Yeah, level 2 gank. Deathrip immediately forced to flash out, went for the shield and went for the flash too, so great gang from Trunks already forcing that flash. And we on the bot lane, we do see a little trade going on. The explosive shot will be on Kitty, but will not do too much, so great trade for AST. But this will also mean that Trunks has like a slower jungle route overall. Now Morsu in the top lane does get the stun. Shroudi dropping really low, and Morsu definitely having the upper hand. Got for the slash, but he didn't get the empower in this fight, so he doesn't get the last hit to get the kill. It was so close, and this is just Morsu so dominant in the lane, and he knows this lane so well.
Yeah, second time he was using his counter strike. We didn't see the first one, but Elise coming in for gank on the bot lane.
Oh, and the explosive shot that was actually spell shielded, but great instant follow up on the cocoon, being able to stun Kitty, forced to flash away, so they do burn that summoner. So that is a slight edge for Inspired in this bot lane.
Yeah, luckily they didn't have to burn the heal, so at least they'll have one summoner remaining in case another gank comes in later. But Elise catching out Gragas maybe, but manages to get over the wall, so he'll be safe.
Goes for the body slam over the wall. He's nice and safe. Morsu being level 4 right now, faking the recall. Let's go for the trade again. Dodges out of the boomerang, and he waited for that boomerang to come on, so he just got that like slight bit of harass off.
Pretty well done. Morsu playing this lane excellently right now. The middle, I mean, Orianna getting a bit of a lead in the CS. Has an easier time harassing as well with the ball. Just position the ball closely to Deathrip here, and every time Deathrip tries to CS, he can reposition the ball with command attack and get some poke down. So it's quite harder for Lulu to get the same amount of CS.
Oh, 26 versus 33 CS. Indeed, that level 2 gank put a lot of pressure onto Deathrip, but he's Lulu, he will skill anyway, so let's see how he will do further into the mid game and the late game. Maybe there will be some action later on. Kadir finds himself a trinket ward, also finds himself an enemy jungler, so they have a little meet-up. Kadir quite low on mana though, and Trunks is still sitting on the blue buff, so not quite a fight Kadir wants to take.
I mean, here in the bottom lane, Sivir already went base, got another Doran's Blade, so she will have some more pressure during this laning phase, and it's up 9 in CS, so doing quite well for herself, even though the gank forced her to flash and back early.
Yes, and it's just going to be the pushing power of ASD, trying to get the Tristana to farm under the turret. Will be a little bit harder to farm for her, so that's one of the win conditions they could have. Just shove them in, get that pressure down, maybe draw some of that jungler attention from the enemy too, so that Trunks can focus more on the solo lanes, but it will be pretty hard because all of the lanes, including solo lanes, are being pushed out, so maybe Trunks instead can try and go for one of these counter ganks. Like, where would you look for these counter ganks?
I mean, I think the bottom lane is the most pressured lane at the moment. There's a lot of CC on both of the teams in the bottom side, so it's easier to set the ganks up and then have the follow-up CC from both Gragas and Elise. So, as Elise just showed herself in the Tribush, killing that pink ward, Gragas is waiting on the sides to maybe get that counter gank in. Oh, Lulu in the mid lane though.
Yeah, he's going for the wild growth forward. He actually see CC and the ignite comes down, but does force the flash. Actually, not quite sure. Ignite had to flash that one, but he does. Better be safe than sorry. So at least Deathrip does get that flash in return. His flash will be up fairly soon, so there might be an opportunity for Kadir to come by later.
Yeah, just the ultimate used for that and the ignite, so pretty nice trade-off. But yeah, as you said, I'm not quite sure if the flash was necessary. However, it did allow her to stay safe, so... Oh, but Gragas is coming into the bot lane, but he got spotted, I believe.
Yes, there is indeed a ward.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. No chance for him to get a gank.
Yeah, like, you would be wondering, right? Because Gragas has this body slam where he can get over walls, so wouldn't you look into like try and get some form of flanks down?
Yeah, you wouldn't. Well, you could kind of expect him to come in from the bottom lane tri-bush, go over the wall and sit in a bush in the river and try to get it there, but unfortunately they have warded that bush exactly, so after Tristana Morgana went base, it allows AST here to get the first dragon. Might come in for a contest though, Morgana looking for it, but just getting the ward down for some vision.
And Morsu right on that moment also teleported top lane, so there was no potential find that they could turn it around at the dragon pit. So it is just like allowing themselves like, okay, we'll just farm it out. It's still the gold lead for Inspired anyway, and they are fine with just like giving that dragon away as long as they don't give too many away, of course, because then that means trouble, like we've seen before.
Yeah. Well, they got close to being in trouble, but I think they got up to the 4th one. Yeah, quite sure.
I think they did. I don't think they actually managed to get the 5th one.
I think most of the games we've seen have been too short to even get to a 5th one. To be honest.
That is true. Well, we had one longer game, but like, look at this cheeky Morsu and Kadir went for the red buff steal. They also go for the gank. It's a 4-man gank in this, no, even 5-man gank in this mid lane. How can this even happen? Everyone just freely walking in there, going behind the turret and take that turret. This will leave up a lot of pressure that Inspired can use.
Yeah, poor Knights getting ganked by 5-man in the mid lane. It's pretty fortunate for him. But yeah, I mean, Tristana pushed up mid lane. Jax pushed up top lane, so they were allowed to get into the enemy jungle and didn't have enough vision to spot where they were heading. So first blood going down here for Inspire, and very nice job for them. They get a small lead here.
Also went for a Cutlass first. So we've seen like these two different builds, I suppose, on Jax. But before we talk about that, we do see a small engage on Morsu, but Stridey does escape with his jump of his own. But Morsu dropping so low, forced to flash. So maybe he's a little bit over eager, or it's just like a flat out bait because Death Rip is right there. His jump is still down for another 2 seconds. Death Rip trying to stay in front. He's getting close, polymorph, but Death Rip dropping so low from the damage of Shroud, and that is not still having that fate. So yeah, back to Jess. You went for a Cutlass this time, so why would you go Cutlass over the Trinity Forks?
Oh, we'll wait for a sec, because Gragas has his explosive cask up, so was looking for a play there, maybe get the knockback. But anyway, yeah, the Cutlass of course allows him to lifesteal, so because of the Gnor's ranged auto attacks, he does eat a lot of poke, and this will allow him to at least regen a little bit more health during these trades. But also, of course, you get in the end the percentage health damage, and usually Gnar and Gragas both stack up on a lot of HP items, so later on in the game it should make it easier for him to be able to kill them down.
Trunks now discovers like, yeah, that was my red they took. It's gone. I guess I'll have to do without a red buff.
Yeah, should have spotted that early anyway, but perhaps just checking if they fully clear the camp, because they tend to leave one or two sneakily behind. But Norb, you're in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, Norb getting caught out. Spell Shield will not save him from the Sun. Ignite is even taking down. Kitty will take that 1 kill, so it's 1-1 kill. Still the gold favor for Inspired, but Norb maybe a little over eager to walk that deep. So he got caught out for that, and he gave a kill away. But nonetheless, he got the vision.
He got the vision.
He got the vision.
So Morsu, Yank is waiting in the bush there. Drag is patiently sitting, but Morsu deciding to back off. Has his TP almost back up, so maybe get back.
Sneaky, will he go for the flash knockback? No, he will not. He might have had the opportunity, but Kitty's still sitting on both of his summoners, so decides not to go for it. Did pop the spell shield though. They do regain some of that control. Teleport comes out on the top lane turret. Will it be in time? Yes, it will, but he is now in a 1v2 without a turret, but he doesn't seem to care. Pops the Grandmaster's Mind. Will he have enough damage? There's the third proc on the knock, but does not decide to go for it. Try to just like completely ditches this fight, and Morsu gets like a free kill out of this. But also look at Death Rip. He is trying to run in. Will he pull the rush? Will it just go flash, engage, gets the glitter lance, and he does pull that rush.
Good play by Death Rip there. Nice flash E and Q and ignites, managing to get another kill. So that's 2 more kills here for Inspired. And oh man, Morsu recognizing his damage spike because he went for the Phage now, and that allowed him to win that trade pretty much right there.
Yeah, extra health and also extra movement speed will definitely be able to dance around the 2 champions. And this is Morsu just on one of his carry picks. Charlie will be pulling off the same move, but this time it's a 1v1, but does save the turret for it. And again, Pascal, thank you for bringing us more coffee. We definitely need it. We're actually starting to get a little bit hungry, so the caffeine will definitely help. So yeah, thanks again, Pascal. Like, he's a nice CEO. Like, he's a CEO that basically walks around for us and gets us coffee. Like,
what more can you want? I mean, come on. So meanwhile, while we were talking about, again, coffee.
Yeah,
so,
coffee.
Sivir and
topic
Brom,
that returns.
Yeah. I think it's because we get so little sleep at events, but that's alright.
It's a LAN after all.
Yeah, you have to take it. But, I mean, Sivir and Brom managed to get the bottom lane turret, so at least they got a little bit of the gold deficit back, crawling into 1k now. I think at the most, Inspire had like a 2k lead or something, so well done by them. They are looking for a pick here onto Death Rip, almost getting the Mega Gnaw.
Oh, there comes the Shockwave too, but can they stack up? Shroudy is turning into Mega Gnaw, does get the stun, goes for the Gnaw, will take the kill, but will he pay the price? No, he will not. Morsi getting pushed back in, but there's Kadir picking up one, and it's Gillis picking up the second. Can they get more? It's a 1-for-2 trade so far. It's a great turnaround from Inspired. Can they get more flash away from Norb? But Morsi still goes in, dropping really low, and that's one, that's two, another 2 kills for AST. So maybe Inspired should have actually kept it right there. So it's a 2-for-3 trade in favor of AST, and they should be able to get this turret as well. That's
so unfortunate. They had a 2-for-1 trade. They should have stayed back and just pushed out the turret, but now they're gonna lose a turret on top of it as well. So in the end, it was a 3-for-2 trade and a turret. So well done by AST to get that gold lead back into their favor. 500 gold lead for them right now. So they should have some pressure to get another dragon.
Yeah, it's also the worst possible time you can imagine. Indeed, Dragon just respawned and they got a 2-for-3 trade. Shroudy is now back there too. No teleport available to go for this teleport play, so this will indeed be another dragon going over to AST, and they still got a really strong team fight composition. Like you saw there, they still can contest a team fight even on this early slash mid game power spike that Jax and Elise can have.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jax of course not at his full power spike just yet. He needs a fully completed item. He looks to be going for the blade first, not the Triforce. But nevertheless, once he gets that, they'll have so much more pressure. And Tristana actually now finished her Infinity Edge. So I think that slowly but surely Fire should be having a better time winning these fights. Because right now, the CC is just getting the better of them.
Yes, it is, and Infinity Edge maybe can get some couple crits in here and there, and together with the explosive shots will deal quite some damage. So now it is AST actually having the upper hand overall. They did pull back into the gold difference. They have like a very, very small lead, just about 200 or 250 gold that they are ahead, but they do have 3 turrets versus the 2 turrets that Inspired has, but also on top of that the 2 dragons.
Yeah, so they are scaling up on the dragons for the late game, so maybe that puts them in a good position later on. But right now it's so even, so it can go either way. It kind of depends if they're gonna get a kill here on the top lane.
That's Rowdy all alone as of now. Norb did get sped up by the Lulu before, but it doesn't seem they cannot quite get the catch, and Inspired looking to actually siege on this top lane turret. They do have a siege minion wave. I do see a careful ping though, but the turret is so low, might as well get it right now. And it is AC trying to go for a counter push. It is mid lane, Trunks is there too. Maybe they can get the knockback onto Death Rip, but Death Rip has all summoners, also the wild growth, so it will be hard to actually dive in. We will see. It does walk forward. We might see a sandwich move coming in here from Inspired. Slow comes down. They're running down the river, but they decide to go into the enemy jungle instead. See if they can get a pick there. And it's a good job by Death Rip actually holding that turret himself. But for now, it will remain peaceful.
Yeah, nice bit of juking there by Death Rip. Moving around Orianna's ball, dodging all the damage she might have taken. Now, Fire looking to pressure onto this mid lane, but there's so much wave clear. It's gonna be quite hard for them to 5-on-5 push it down with both the Orianna and the Sivir wave clear, so gonna have to look for something else.
And they do excel off of these picks. They do have the Elise, they do have the Jax. Small skirmishes are pretty good for them too, but it is a Tristana after all, so maybe if they can poke the turret out bit by bit just when the waves are coming in, then maybe they can still like slowly start sieging this. Only got 1 hit on that explosive shot, so it will not be too big of a deal for AST. They're trying to run in. There is the explosive cast on the spell shield, so there is no engage onto Gillis. Mistimed that spell shield just slightly. Yeah. It was about to run out, but it was just too early, so almost they had that catch onto Gillis there.
Oh. It would have been pretty fancy if he would have knocked him back with the Clask mid jump from Tristana, but unfortunately Spell Shield gonna block it right there, and not much happening just yet. So Baron of course coming up in a minute, but I don't see any of the teams going for that too soon. So I'm kind of expecting it to stall until the next dragon. Because, I mean, for both sides, all the outer turrets are down. 1nspire is kind of dodging around the 5v5 fights because they know they're in a bit of a disadvantage. They need to have the picks, so they need to get some more vision control. So I'd like to see them get some more pink wards because they have 0 on the map at the moment. And once they do, maybe they can get 1 or 2 players out of position and get another objective out of that.
Starting to slowly try and get rid of the vision of AST in the spot side river, and indeed, I would completely agree with you. Like, they need the small picks and the small skirmishes maybe, so it will be around the neutral objectives. They cannot really siege. There's just too much wave clear for AST, so they definitely try to start gaining control over these neutral objectives just to see if they can get the small skirmishes they want. But I would say Tristan's not quite on that spike yet, but
yeah.
Jax and Elise will be starting to ramp up quite nicely. Blade of the Rune King being finished now too. Would assume that gives quite some sustained DPS on the Jax, but not as much burst. And that's like my only issue that I have with Blade of the Rune King. If you fully looking for picks, then Trinity Force might be better in a way.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah, Trinity Force will definitely be better. I mean, you get more bursty damage, especially with the Empowered Strike, just allowing him to get a chunk of damage down in an instance. And with the Elise setting him up, along with the Morgana, you need that burst and allow them to not get away or re-engage onto you. But he will be building up towards that Trinity Force quite soon. He already has the Amp Tome in there, plus the dagger, so shouldn't take him all too long.
Already starting to do his thing. A thing that Jax is really good at, the split pushing,
Yeah.
getting the farm on the side lane, see if they can drag people in that same lane so they can make a different rotation. This, for example, would have been a good opportunity to go onto Knight or maybe even Shroudy. They all have their summons up though, so it would be a pretty messy fight with all these summoners being blown out. It is inspired after all, getting the control around Baron. They actually stopped the Baron. They do have Blade of the Rune King, of course, so they should be able to do it. There's one ward behind in the pit. Not quite sure. Yes, they can see it, but Baron is right on top of it, so I'm not sure if they can actually get it. The double ward just over the wall, because synergy is number 1.
Huh. That was a bit awkward. But, I mean, Dragon just came up, so they were kind of putting ATS in a position, or ASC in a position like, okay, if you want to do Dragon, sure, but we are going to get the Baron, and you're going to see it as well, because they left the ward in there, which was kind of weird, but guessing it works out for now, but AST is setting up for that Dragon.
And they do have the Skull Crab, which will be running out, but it's the only little bit of vision they have on the Dragon Pit, but looks like they're forced to give this one away again. Yeah. Norb did recall, and Inspire just didn't have the tools to try and go and contest it.
So third Dragon buff, now they get the small speed boost in there, which will help along with the Silver Ultimate, of course, so they are able to engage a bit easier, but Morse is out of position.
Yeah, he's all alone. Just jump over Trunks. He does have flash available, but cannot reach the Baron Pit, so the red buff will actually be going back to where it belongs, on Trunks, the jungler. Might have been nice if it would be on Kitty, but still, that was not his red buff, so they do take what they can.
Yeah. Okay, so they are going for Baron. They know they have a man advantage, and they just decide to go for it, but it's going so slow.
Yeah, and
Inspire gonna get something here.
Just their small AoE CC that they have. Oh, Knight completely whiffed that Shockwave. Cannot get that engaged. This could have been a Baron for them instead, just by the zoning, but they decided to fight. And there's a flash from Deathwish. Goes for the Wild Growth. It will be a 1-for-1 trade. Exhaust comes out, but will be completely wasted onto Kitty. So that's a 1-for-1 trade in the end. I'm not quite sure who favors that, but I think it will be favoring Inspired because the Baron is still there.
Yeah, plus they get rid of a bit of wave clear, so it's going to be much harder for ASC to contest the Baron. I don't think they're going to pick it. They were going to get the crab here, get the vision control back in their hands.
Well, they do have the Blade of the Rune King champion back, though no pink wards. There is an Oracle Lens coming up in just a second. There is a ward in the pit, so we will see if they can go for the steal, yes or no. Gragas tends to be quite good at stealing it, but Morsu goes in, trying to buy time. There's the flash of Trunks, there's one kill, Kadir goes down, so that's the one smite down. Baron is dropping low, Trunks should be able to get this one for his team, almost dies from it. But they do get a 2 for 0 as well as the Dragon, so maybe a little bit of a bold move by Inspired. Norp almost got stunned there. I think it was slightly out of range, but he would also have had his spell shield. Now Death Rip does get the concussive blows applied. Well, it is gone now, so they cannot get that catch. Shockwave again misses. It's the second Shockwave that didn't have any impact, but now AST will be able to siege with his Baron.
Oh man, that was... I thought it would be kind of risky to go for the Baron, even though it would be a 4v4. They would take so much damage before they even get it low enough to kill it, and then Morsu going for Gragas, but Gragas just going into the Baron pit and ignoring Morsu. And wow, they just took 2 kills and the Baron. So well done for ASD. It got the lead back into their hands, and maybe this will allow them to push out some more turrets and get some more pressure back. But of course, also they have the 3 dragons, so they are already scaling on the dragon side of it.
Yeah, with the Baron buff, they're able to siege. They have a lot of wave clear, so it's hard for Inspired to deal with these Baron up minions, because the only true wave clear they really have is into Death Rip on this Lulu, and I don't think it will be enough. Baron up minions get really tanky, and then also Kitty and Knight will be able to instantly wave clear. Also Kitty, of course, playing the Severe, will be taking down turrets. Tristana is just slightly better, but also Kitty's really good with the attack speed buff.
Oh wow. I just saw Morse go for a leap strike, a powered strike, and he did quite some damage, so he is going to pressure down onto the top lane.
Yeah, he has the Sheen now, so he does have a little bit of extra push, but not quite sure if it will be enough. He has quite some gold, so he should be able to finish off that Trench Force, and that will be key. Maybe they can turn it around there. What do you think?
I mean, right now, what they need is like a static shift on Tristana to clear these waves, because they can't deal with the super minions. But I'm thinking they're gonna lose another inner turret, and perhaps afterwards the Baron should run out, and that will be it for ASD's little push here.
I'm also just trying to do what he can as a split pusher, just at least forcing someone from the team of ASD to stick at the lane he is at. So now he will be rejoining his team down in this bottom lane. They are able to stall this this turret. I'm not quite sure what was going on around here, but yeah, sorry, I got a little bit distracted there.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, they forced them back actually. They still had a bit of Baron left, I think. And the turret was quite low, so not sure why they decided to back off. Maybe they were scared of the Jax, didn't want to face a 5v5 right there. Of course, Jax went base to finish his Triforce, so he definitely is going to be a force to reckon with.
Yeah, I mean, you have to respect that spike. Like Trinity Force, Blade of Rune King, it does make him really squishy though. Like, I think that's one of the only downsides. Like, Inspire doesn't really have that much of a front line either, since Kadir went for this AP heavy build too. The only true tank item in there is the Rylai's, but then it's also like a passive aggressive item in there, and then what front line is left with you? You just have the Wild Growth to rely on that front line.
Standard front line? Maybe.
Just down from line. Let's get the resets. You just jump over all of the players anyway, so why not?
Worries.
Oh, I'm also having a little bit of a one-on-one with Shroudy. Look at that damage he already has, but does get stunned up. Will he follow up with the no? No, he will not. Oh, yes, he will. Right into the turret. There is the Winter's Bite into the Glacial Fissure, and it will also be Atrocious taking that one. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, the turret went down, taken by Kitty, so I'm not quite sure. I'm also just getting really ballsy on these like 1v1s under the turret. It is a Mega Knight after all, gets tanky, still has damage. Blade of the Rune King, also Spirit's Cowl, so we'll actually be blocking some of that burst. But look at that damage onto Kadir. Knight just walking up, does have the Shockwave available. Will he go for it? No, his Commander tank wasn't quite far enough to try and get that Shockwave out. Meanwhile, another dragon being picked up in this bot side of the map by ASD. They are 4-0 dragons, and it's getting really scary. It's not even 30 minutes, and there's already threat on that 5th dragon.
Yeah, I mean, right there, they had pressure on the top lane because they managed to kill off Morsu under the turret. And they had pressure on Dragon as well because Lulu had no chance to do anything right there, and even had to blow her flash to get out safely. So again, I mean, Inspire is scaling up with the Tristana, but right now ASD is just scaling up on Dragons. They need one more. Baron is coming up pretty soon as well, so this Baron is going to be pretty scary. Whichever team gets it is going to most likely get a big enough snowball to force into that next dragon, because yeah, there's no chance that Inspire can give away another dragon. If they do it, they are going to get so far behind.
Can we see this? I think I've never seen a game being won when someone had 5 dragons, or like when they were facing
turn around
with 5 Dragon Slayer stacks. And also something to consider, the most gold is invested into Morsu, and Morsu can't even kill the backline that well because there's so much disengage, there's so much peel and so much damage, and there's still a front line in the Gnar and the Gregors. So in that case, you would say that AST's composition is way more balanced when it comes to like these different lines of combat.
Yeah, they have a more rounded setup. Maybe if Morsu gets later into the game and has some more items, but he is going to bash onto the turrets.
He does get... Well, he actually doesn't get the counter-strike, but does go down. He does get a turret, however, so at least the global gold will be swinging slightly back. But look at that rip. Completely caught off guard. Was just happily roaming in the mid lane, but then he had a little surprise for him. He got completely sandwiched. Does go down, also blew the wild growth, but he does also take a respawn time of 30 seconds, so now it's into AST's hand. What will they do with this? Baron will be respawning. Maybe they go for this Baron rush. However, Morsu still has that teleport, so we will see what they will be going to do.
10 seconds or more, so 17 on death rip, so they should have enough time. They have already so much damage, and they do it so quickly. There's no way that Inspire can contest this. So this means the second Baron going down to ASD, and they are going to push down once again onto this middle lane. But it's going to be about the dragon. I don't think they're going to pressure too much. They want to wait for that 5th dragon. They know they're scaling up to it, and once they get it, they'll be more confident into going into that 5v5 team fight and actually feeling that they can convincingly win it.
Comes over boys. Go for a assassination contract, but does get spotted out. He is busted, so he will not continue this assassination. Trunks though finds himself the Morsu in the brush. Morsu getting knocked back in, but it is almost a 3-man stun that he got there. Atrocious is really tanky. Shroudy and Morsu having that one-on-one, but Trunks in the meantime getting chunked down. But there's a flash. No, 3-man into the wall. Shockwave will not do that much because everyone was pretty much dead already. Now it's a chase onto Kadir. The Winter's Bite does slow, and look at those crits from Kitty. Triple kill from Kitty, and it's the 4-for-0. Great flash Gnar from Shroudy.
That was amazing, but once again, also being a bit greedy. It looked like they were going to have a great re-engage, but they didn't get the kill on Trunks. No reset for Tristana, so no way for her to get in a new position pretty easily, and they're going to push down into this inhib, but Morsu trying to counter it, getting a turret of his own.
Also goes for the counter-strike, but I don't think he can go for the 1v1 because he is that inhibitor going down too, and again, like, this is Morsu all can do. He can try and split push, but he gets a couple turrets, but that's a suicide for it. What else can they do?
It's like the second or third time he tries to do that. I mean, early on he had the better pressure, but he's given away so many kills to the Gnar, so it is too difficult for him to deal with it right now. And 1 more minute till the 5th dragon, perhaps, for ASC. They have the inhibitor, so they have that lane pressure already down, and all they have to do is try to split push, get the middle lane pushed up, get top lane pushed up, force Inspire to get back to those lanes and clear the waves. But Sivir here had to force the ultimate though,
try
that little engage.
They tried to go for the engage there onto Norb, but Spellshock comes out. There's a talisman though. Can they find the binding? Yes, they can. There is the shield. But look at that glacial fissure and the damage of Knight, completely destroying everyone. Trying to get in the front line, but there's a shutdown from Morsu. Went for the flank with a teleport play, but can he escape? One more attack will stun him down. But meanwhile, Deathrip will be getting caught out by Trunks, and it is a 2v1 onto Shroudy. They're trying to run away, but Kitty, so strong, also has Zeke's Harbinger. He is so strong. It's a 3-4-2 so far, but I don't think Morsu can escape this one. There is a command attack, dealing so much damage. Counter-Strike will be coming out, but I don't think Morsu can get this. No, it is a killing spree for Knight, and this means 5th Dragon for AST.
Yeah, and their lead is just huge right now. They went to a 10k gold lead already. 5th Dragon in their hands right now. Bottom lane has a full super minion wave pushing up to the turret. So all they have to do is go back to base, get a couple more items from the gold they just acquired, push down this mid lane and go for the finish.
You make it sound really easy. It probably is really easy. You say it so calmly. It's like they just have to indeed buy their last couple items. They have the strong advance. They have the 5 Dragon Slayer stacks. They've got that true damage, like on their whole kit. Now it's just like a basic matter of pushing. It's only an inhibitor turret in the mid lane standing. Inhibitor already down in the bot lane. It's just a tier 2 that is standing still in the top lane. That's the only defense they've got. But considering that Morsu still managed to get all these turrets in these upper lanes, still pretty good, but the advantage is so big from AST.
Yeah, they do decide to go for top lane first, so getting that last outer turret down here. But yeah, I mean, those last couple fights just went so heavily in favor of AST that with the extra dragon buff, I do not feel that 1nspire has any chance to fight them 5-on-5 right now.
It's gonna be really hard, but maybe they're forced to at some
point.
Oh my god! Look at that shot! My god, Knight dealing so much damage. Trunks does go for the explosive card. Bring complete chaos in this fight. Morsu gets knocked up by the glacial fissure, and it is Kitty going legendary. He is 10-0-5, dealing so much damage with his Zeke's Harbinger. And now the inhibitor goes down, 2 inhibitors going down. Super minions will be joining in this base soon, but I'm not even sure if they need this. First Nexus turret down, second Nexus turret down. They're rushing the Nexus. Can they get another kill? Yes, they can. Knight just completely evaporating the Tristana there, and this is the first game going to AST in this best of 3 in the semi-final of the Reality 16 Trust League of Legends tournament. Man, what a game!
That burst into Lulu. Wow, I mean, Knight's having so much damage. He has pretty much a full item build. Just one more, just the Doran's ring he still had to replace. But oh my god, that damage was ridiculous.
Well, if you like it, you should have put a ring on it, you know.
Good point. Touché, Massa. But yeah, I mean, AST taking 1-0 up now in this best of 3. So we still might have 2 more games to go. I think that 1nspire have a very good chance to crawl back into the second game. They need to do a little bit of discussion to find out where it went wrong for them, and maybe do a little bit of boosting up into the picks and bans. Try to change that up a little bit and hopefully take another game, because we wanted to see the best of 3 go out to all the 3 games here.
1nspire definitely strong players, so the question is, can they turn it around? Can they bring it to a full match into the 3 games in this best of 3? Only one way to find out is to watch after the break, so we will go into a slight break waiting for game 2 to go on. So grab your drinks and snacks, because a lot of action is going down in this best of 3. See you soon.